jam-packed, full of stories, which we will let you know about in just a second. We'll be right back right after this. Remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. While we're on that subject, please remember that the platforms are not always going to give you a notification. You can go to marfooglenews.com to get ours. In fact, we will have a push notification directly to your phone. iOS is on its way soon. I know we've been saying that. And remember, you can follow along tonight. Every news story here is going to be on our website. What is going on, guys? My name is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We are going to go over a lot of different stories tonight, and just to remind you, you can actually go to our website, marfooglenews.com, and you can actually follow along on a second device. Now, if you see, it will be organized very simply by thumbnail. You'll see Into the Dark. You'll look for this thumbnail for tonight's show, and then once you click that, you'll see that we back up what we say. We have every single article, every single source, so you know, oh, this is this direction or that direction. You'll know where it's coming from. All of the articles are here for you to look at, and then of course a couple surprises that will be added in by the end. Also, this is a live show. Anything can happen. The caller info will be added here right down at the bottom of that page. On the right side, you will see all of our sponsors and any affiliates that we work with. If you guys want to help us out in any way, these are all of the options, including Amazon, which is extremely easy considering you're probably already using it already. You can go through our link and not going to cost anything more, and it helps the channel. So thank you all for your massive support, including, before we even started tonight, Open House Texas. Awesome. Thank you for the support. Says we are living in historical and biblical times. Thank you, Dex and the team, for all you do to keep us informed. God is moving. We will see it soon. He wants us to stay in prayer and do not engage with the enemy. Stay safe. Much love from Texas. Well, thank you so much, Open House Texas, and thank you for starting off the show right. We have not been here for a few days, and there is good reason. Let's first introduce Dex. Dex is going to be screening. He's going to be on the phones. He is also going to be updating the website live. If there's anything crazy, that will be on there before the end of the show. Dex, are you there, and can we do a sound check?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
I'm glad I did one. I think I had you a little bit loud. That's my fault. So obviously there's a lot going on. Us personally, because we are into current events, we actually got pretty solid information that they were doing a sweep. So again, with everything going on, everyone was glued to the current events going on, deciding of the next president. It was, we weren't going to compete with it. Honestly, there was a lot going on. Right now, in several cities, there is absolute chaos. They are not talking about it as much as I would think that they would. But of course, if you go to Twitter or anywhere else, you will see videos from all over the country, people going both ways, just absolutely nuts. There's been a lot of arguments, especially in this last week. It is such a stressful time for everybody. Doesn't matter who you ended up in going to that ballot for. This ended up being stressful, and both sides are extremely stressed because there is no winner declared like, most of the time you find out at that, that night who is going to be the next leader. Now there is several things that are in play that are actually stopping that, and of course a lot of people are angry, sad, stressed out, whatever you want to call it. I do feel there is a lot of strange stuff going on, and I feel like if the media is behind something, the big banks is behind something, that big social media is behind something, that is usually what I try to tend to stray away from. But a lot of people that are in the same boat as that would normally be in that same boat, do not think that way because of the opposite direction and who is there. It's kind of funny because a lot of the things that everybody lines up with would be on that side, but they just can't do it because of a personal feeling towards that person or something. So I feel like there's some blatant stuff going on here. It's really crazy. But again, you guys already had enough of that. We're going to cover all of the rest of the stuff here tonight. We are also going to be taking calls. You will be able to get in for the second part of the show. That number is 224400MARF. Again, that is 6273. It will be right down here on that black line. When you get to our phone tree, remember to press option 4. And remember, if we make sure we are live right now, it is 8:26 p.m. Pacific, 11:26 p.m. Eastern. Just make sure you are watching the live show. All right, without further ado, let's get into the news because there is a lot of it. And by the way, thank you guys for all being patient. Again, we lost many people in the last week. Absolutely insane amount of people are gone now. Just really praying for everything to go back to somewhat normal. Very, very, very crazy stuff. Okay, so first off, can the world stop China's surge into biological warfare? This is from the Washington Times. It says civilized nations are bound to obey the law of conflict embodied in the Geneva Conventions. The conventions outlaw acts such as the intentional targeting of civilian populations and the creation of stockpiling of biological weapons. It says despite these obligations, China is evidently eager to violate the conventions because of opportunities presented by the advance of medical science. Now remember, every story that we post here, we give you the source of where it's coming from. Obviously, this is coming from a standpoint. I have told you guys that I feel like we are heavily being trained right now to hate this country. And again, for good reason on a lot of this stuff is as far as I don't think you should hate any person. But again, most people, they make the argument that it's the government and how they run their government. Those are the people that people do not like, how they treat their people, everything else. As far as the people themselves, some of the smartest and most amazing people, I'm sure, are living over there under this rule. Now, as far as what is going on, it feels like we are getting pumped up to support a conflict with a gigantic country. People would say, well, why would we want to do that? We're so financially connected. I feel like that is all getting separated right now. Now they are untangling the braid and slowly taking a pick and picking it apart and separating the hairs. That is what I believe that a lot of you understand, since we've shown you all of the ways that they have taken dependence off the U.S. and the U.S. has taken dependence off of them. Now, multiple countries all over the world are setting up in the same way. They are separating their financial ties with China and Russia, and they are setting up. And a lot of people say, oh, this is, warmongering or this or that, and say, oh, when is it coming? We don't know what kind of conflict this will be, if it will even be a conflict or just a straight up smash and grab. We don't know. But as far as now, we actually have our own set of islands. They have islands. We've been doing training, hopping from island to island. They've been doing training such as taking over Taiwan with a complete replica of Taiwan's capital. They have actually made a complete exact replica of what the capital looks like so their military can drill and practice taking it over. If that happens, that's a big deal. And of course, that is how some people think that we're going to get drawn into this thing. I think it's going to be some sort of massive event to distract everyone's attention from, say, I don't know, any kind of fraud or something like this going on. It says, at least since 2002 publication of Unrestricted Warfare, a book by two People's Liberation Army colonels, it says Chinese military thinking has extended the concept of a battlefield to every aspect of military and civilian existence. The unlimited, quote, battlefield now means that China intends to include biological warfare among the most significant means of fighting a conflict. It says from several news reports beginning in 2019, we know of a 2010 book called Conflict for Biological Dominance. And of course, with that W word, more we use it, the more we get binked. It says by a professor at China's third military university, medical university, which emphasized the use of biological conflict. And it says the theoretical basis continued in a 2015 essay by General He Fuchu. And it says then presidents of China's Academy of Military Medical Sciences, in which he argued that biotechnology will become the new strategic commanding heights of national defense, from biomaterials to, quote, brain control weapons. That's a big one right there. Biotechnology will become the, quote, new strategic commanding heights, and included from biomaterials to brain control. So when you have big sources saying these kind of things, even using those words next to each other, brain and control, obviously people are going to start waking up to some of the things that have been around that are now possibly being used. Brain control. Says theory was made into doctrine in the 2017 edition of the PLA National Defense University textbooks, which debuted a section about biology as a domain of military struggle, mentioning for the potential for new kinds of biological conflict to include, quote, specific ethnic genetic attacks. I hope you guys are picking up on what we're throwing down here. Read that part very carefully. So as many of you know, we all have independent individual markers that mark us by your DNA. They can actually see, what kind of background you have as far as what your ethnicity is. All of these kind of things leave little markers in our DNA. Our DNA overall is the same form, but there's all these different things. There's marks for all sorts of things. Now they are finding out how to tell if you're, prone to cancer or prone to this or prone to that, or if you're going to, very early on, they can see if the child's going to be tall or if it's going to be short, if it's going to be fat or if it's going to be skinny. Now they're using this in a negative way. The bad guys are going to start using, or in fact, they already have, I'm sure, they're going to start using this as an advantage militarily. What do you guys think about it? Dex, what do you think about this as far as what this is saying here?
Hey, Adam. This technology is going to continue to advance, right? And we'll see all sorts of ways to use it for good. But this is obviously everything that you can use in a good way. You typically can find some negative side to it, right? And this certainly paints a pretty stark picture of what could happen.
Now, as far as if you can think in the future, even in the close future, them using some sort of thing to actually control people, what about a gas that could control people's minds or make them more suggestible? Sort of like a truth serum or some sort of grenade that you throw into a building and then tell everybody in the building, come out with your arms up, and they just do it. This sounds crazy and like fiction, but now there's books coming out and studies on this that say that they can control different brain mechanisms to make you do all this kind of stuff with nanobots and things like this. So they're looking into all of this right now, and I'm sure DARPA and all of these different companies are researching this stuff alongside some of these technical colleges and all these things out there. So what do you guys think about this as far as brain control being talked about in mainstream media and it being part of military advantages? It's pretty nuts, and it's honestly pretty scary. One drummer guy, thank you so much, says tribulation equals America 2020. Troubles and tribbles guaranteed right now. Obviously, a lot of people are very stressed, and this is incredibly stressful time. I even heard somebody said that people that track their steps have done 10 times the steps they normally do because of pacing. There is an uptick in pacing, and of course, that's one of the dumb news stories that they're trying to cover right now. It says, Susan Donahue says, the final battle has already been won. We're simply playing out the timelines. Well done. # Team Humanity. Well, thank you for your support, Susan Donahue. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being here for such a long time and being a part of our Foogle family. Keith and Queen Brat, who normally actually send messages via each other. It says, "Hey, Adam, we missed you and hope you feel better. I'm finally off the road, and Queen Brat and I are able to watch you together. God bless you." They, of course, actually shout each other out from across the country when Keith or Queen Brat are either trucking, and they actually shout out each other because they both watch. Thank you guys for being watching wherever you are, and I really do appreciate it. And then Backwards Ingenuity. "Hey, Marf, I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. Heads on a swivel and don't stop prepping food, water, medical, and brass." And, of course, quote, brass. So Backwards Ingenuity, along with others I've seen on Twitter, a lot of people are out there, and they are saying, do not think that this is the end of the craziness. This is just the beginning. And we already have some stuff that we will possibly go over on the second part of this. Got to talk to you about January, February, and what is to come. So stay tuned for that. All right, and just to make sure that I am covering all bases here, I appreciate all of you guys over on D Live, Mama of Six, Lady D Music, Biblical Smackdown, that Chalky Gal Unicorn Forest. Thank you. And Machina Opus, thank you for being a big supporter every night, whether you are donating or not. You are always here, and I really do appreciate that. Gas Electric, Susan Loves Huskies, Lisa K23, Interesting Times, great show. Thank you guys. And Zippy Moons, thank you for being up there as well. One thing I want to point out, and this is real quick, is it doesn't matter if you are supporting this person or that person right now. We need to come back on it. And I think the one thing that's bothering people is if that we knew 100% that it was a legit event right now, then I think most people would be hypocritical if they said anything if that person won. I just feel it's pretty strange right now because of how things look. I hope that people understand that the integrity of this event right now is one of the most important things that's ever happened and ever will happen. I know some people have already lost their faith in the process already, but again, the way that things are taken care of or altered is by media manipulation, by paving pockets and different areas, advertising, blocking out certain messages while letting others flow to the top. These kinds of things are the way that they can easily kind of do manipulation. But again, some people say that it's all done from the beginning. That very well could be, but at the same time, this year it will be guaranteed. People will not have any doubt. No matter what side you're on. If you are the winner, right? Everybody's saying win, lose. If you are the winner in this situation, I guarantee you in the back of your head, you're thinking, okay, well then after this, there is no more of these, that it's destroyed. Then there's no point to this, because you know that this is it's not normal. Everyone knows it's not normal right now. But, and if it's legit, then it'll say, okay, cool. 4 years, let's do it. Not going to sit there and cry, right? For those people on that side, if they do lose. For the others, you would think that would happen, but I from the last 4 years, I don't think it would. But again, it does look like that is what is going to happen. So it's hard to stay neutral nowadays, but I want you guys to know I have an opinion on this, and I have a person, or everybody says the lesser of two evils. I have a person, but that doesn't mean I dislike any of you. What people are having a problem with is they're getting triggered every 10 seconds by somebody who supports the person they hate. And it's on both sides, and they just can't stand it, and they can't say that. We have to get past all that BS. Because if you are trying to move along as human evolution, we got to get past that, and we got to get past it now. We got to come together. We should be coming together. We should be right there right now. And somebody put it, I think today, trying to think of it. We Are Awake News. I think Gone Girl actually suggested the channel. But he was right in a couple of the things he said. We should be coming together stronger than ever right now, but instead we are torn apart. And that is on purpose, and any side should understand that. We should not be divided because of this stupid thing. Either person, it's not the end of the world. That's what people are saying to make it, but it is going to be the end of of an era. It already is. It's going to end all trust from even the people that, are there. Either way, doesn't matter who wins, it will end trust. It's already gone. So, unfortunately, people are getting triggered way too easy. We got to get past it and laugh about it. And I hope that we can have some fun in the next week. I hope that we can actually have some fun. Maybe even we will change up this week's show to include something funny or something. Because we need to all do something that we can all jump behind and get on. Because right now, it is very crucial that we keep it together and don't do what they want us to do, which is create chaos. Bogstown, if you divide 2020 by 666, you get the text number, the Mr. Joe's text number. Thank you, Marf and Dex, says Tony617. Thank you so much. Veteran Steve, thank you for being here. Edgy Whalen, None Unknown, Sean Winkler, thank you guys all for being here. Earth keeps pulsating every 26 seconds, and no one knows why. Again, this is another thing that is happening outside the spectrum of what everybody is focused on, and I think this is absolutely weird. Just like the Earth rang like a bell a few years ago, and no one could explain it. They tried, and it just looked even weirder. It says, why is Earth pulsating every 26 seconds, and why can't scientists explain it after 60 years? It is an enigma wrapped in a periodically predictable mystery motion. It could be a harmonic phenomenon, or phenomenon. I think that's some sort of ghetto speak. Phenomenon. A regular seismic chirp caused by the sun's energy. This actually, I'm sure a lot of people actually agree with this explanation here. Regular seismic chirp caused by the sun's energy. Or a beacon drawing scientists to its source to begin a treasure hunt. The world is weird, and it says in the early 1960s, a geologist named Jack Oliver first documented the pulse, also known as a microseism, according to Discover Oliver, who worked at Columbia University in Lamont Doratory Geological Observatory at the time, heard the noise, but didn't have the advanced instruments seismologists have now at his disposal. Since then, scientists have spent a lot of time listening to the pulse and even finding out where it comes from. A part of the Gulf of New Guinea called the Bight of Bonny, Discovery says. First off, what do you guys think that this is? Is this like a heartbeat for Earth? Dex, what do you think this is? Do you think that this is some sort of is this the pulse of our Earth core or something? Like what do you think? As far as do you have an opinion on this?
Well, Adam, we've heard about the ringing, and they would travel around the world, right? Like, I don't know, is this something connected with that, or is this maybe part of the magnetic poles?
So, some people have said, oh, you said the pole. By the way, I've never ever said I think the poles are going to shift next week or anything else. But I do think that we don't know anything about what is going to happen when they do. And there is some very alarming information that the poles have been moving so quickly and shifting all around, going towards Siberia. It's pretty scary. And of course, people could focus on all of the crazy, cataclysms that could happen. And of course, we talk about them because that's why most people tune into the show. We talk about those things that are taboo, that you can't really talk about with your coworkers because they'll think you're weird, or they think that you're, this or that, or they'll think you're crazy. But we're supposed to talk about this kind of stuff. We just don't. And people are afraid of these things. They're afraid of talking about this stuff. And once you take the fear out, then all of a sudden it becomes a fun subject. And it becomes extremely interesting. What the hell is this pulse? What do you guys think it is? I'm going to go over to the chat. What do you guys think that this pulse is? I would love to hear what you think this crazy thing is. It says that, let's see here. Some researchers think that the pulse has a kind of prosaic cause. Under the world's ocean, the continental shelves act as a gigantic wave break. It's the boundary of a very far edge of, for example, the North American continental mass, where the highest part of the plate finally falls off into the deep abysmal plain. Scientists have theorized that as waves hit the specific place on the continental shelf in the Gulf of Guinea, that this regular pulse is produced. If that sounds improbable, consider all of the different shapes of drums, from timpani to brass drums to bongos, that you hit with your hands. It's not impossible that just one shape of the continental shelf drum would create the right harmonic bang to rattle the earth. If that's true, we're probably lucky it's just one. So another thing to think about is how the earth has moved, the entire thing, with certain actions or certain volcanoes. As far as the earth ringing like a bell, what happened there? Did we actually get hit with something? Did we get hit with an asteroid where nobody was around? Was it out in the middle of nowhere and it hit it so hard it literally rang us like a bell? What happened with that? If you don't know about that, make sure to go look that up after the show, because there's some really weird stuff out there about that. Of course, everybody has their theories from, of course, I think even, I want to say Gandhi said something about it. Of course, a lot of people go to David Wilcock and things like this. A lot of people said stuff about it, but nobody really knows. I would love to know what you guys think that this pulse is every 26 seconds. Mama of 6, the truth is out there. What is going on? Let's see what they are saying in the chat. The earth ain't living, says Ian LaRue. Awesome. It says, I agree, it's going to get bad. I see that coming. Green Bay Lady, aliens. Green Bay Lady says it might be aliens. Sean S. Unico says like a cowbell, LOL. Yes, we need more cowbell. We had our bell rung a long time ago. Well, yes. Yesterday or the day before. Birth pangs, says Zenaido. Proud grandma have had vertigo and dehydration on a cellular level. That's interesting. Earth in labor. I like the birth pangs theory though too. Is this biblical? Is this something? But Dex, it's my understanding this has been going on for over 60 years. So this isn't something that's new. It just seems like it might be something. I don't know. It's very odd. CERN, Planet X Watcher, but has CERN been around for 60 years? That's one thing to say, Planet X Watcher. And then Ryan, and then CERN said last week that they opened up another dimension. No way. Those guys are nuts. Do you believe that CERN opened up another dimension? Let's see. Everhorse says, yes, birth pangs, it's a biblical sign getting closer to end times. Personally, I think that, let's see here. Somebody said, I've seen that. Joker 330 says you need to check out Red Pilling the Masses. I'll make sure to check it out. I think I've heard him. J-Stone, God is sovereign. I like it. They were trying to open a portal, says Eliza. What if it changed history, though? Here's just a thought. What if it changed history to the point where in our history books and in our memories and everything else, it's been going on for 60 years, but really CERN changed something, and now that's what we all remember, just like the Mandela effect. Everyone talks about the different Mandela effects, and some of them are really, really crazy. There's the Berenstein Bears, which now I think it's Berenstein or something like that. There's those different Mandela effects, which everybody remembers something else. Fruit Loops, fruit with 2 O's or fruit with fruit. All these different ones. You guys know Mandela effect. There's some awesome content out there on it. And the more you get into it, you think, gosh, has our timeline been changed? It's very weird stuff. On another note, thank you guys for the feedback. And then it says, Ryan now has automated missile launching, quote, magazines for its underground bases. One thing I want people to think about is if these guys are coming up with this stuff and this becomes public, What do you think the U.S. has? As far as deep underground military bases and all of this, we find out about all these other countries that have these huge networks, including Russia. Russia has enough underground shelter space to house almost all of Moscow. The city of Moscow, they all have a shelter to go into if we were to get into a nuclear conflict. Now, whether you believe that will happen or not, they actually have that system. Most, including myself, believe that we have one of the most advanced underground military bases in the world, and that it is mostly top secret, and it's way above any of our pay grade. It's kind of clearance stuff that nobody knows about unless you are very, very high up. Some of it is very public. Of course, there's some entrances that people think are a part of it. I've talked to somebody who was a driver, or says that they were a driver, and they said that it goes in basically 46 out of the 48 states, I believe, that are landlocked. So there's only 2 states here, not the 2 states, Hawaii and Alaska, but there's only 2 states here that do not have entrances and exits to this system. So I thought that was pretty interesting. They said that you actually have to, as a driver, you have to be ex-military, you have to have a special clearance, that you have to put your cell phone in a magnet box that basically clamps onto the side of your truck on the very back, and it has one key to put it in, and then the key that opens it is at the very end and at the end of the trip. So they have a numbered coded system, so they have like 18 different keys, and I believe it was more than that, and it was like E6. So they wouldn't tell the person at the other end that code until they got there. So then there would be no way that truck driver would be able to use his cell phone and take pictures and do all this. So they would do an E5 key to put it in, and then they wouldn't tell the other end until they got to their location of exiting with their top secret cargo or whatever they're carrying underground. They would then say, hey, it's an E5 key, you can open it up, and then they grab their stuff and then they leave. He says that there's networks under there, that there is entire restaurants, Starbucks, all these kind of things, but with uniformed officers running them. That there is the equivalent of a Costco, only it is at an extreme discount for soldiers, and that they can shop, they can get clothes, they can get all sorts of stuff. And I want to say that it was Walmart, not Costco, but they have contracts with these companies that we all know about. DHS and all of these contracted companies are in cahoots with them. Then you bring into the Boring Company, as far as Elon Musk, and his machinery has been around for now 14 years, I believe. I think even longer, might be longer now, 16 years. And only some of the new public stuff for the public is coming out. But if they have that machinery that for, the kind of fun transportation stuff, what do you think that the government is doing? And how do you think he got this astronomically rich with all of the other things going on? It's pretty crazy to think about. But as far as this goes, it says new footage shows ready to launch ballistic missiles on a railway type system within a cavernous subterranean complex. Again, if they have this, imagine what we have. It says videos and photos have emerged showing for the first time an underground ballistic missile facility in which groups of missiles are ready to fire are moved around massive tunnels using automated railway type systems. It says the vertically stowed missile magazine appears to bring groups of missiles into position for rapid consecutive launching from the cavernous subterranean bunker. Think about that. Think about this as far as launching. If they really did pull the trigger on some of this stuff, look at their advertising. This looks like the lobby for a Great Clips in Rylan. What the hell? The countries all have the... Look at this one. This guy's got binoculars. And what's even crazier is these are gigantic posters. So this is a kind of system on these tracks, and then these things are launched, loaded, launched, loaded, launched. I am praying that these are never used. I am praying that these are fake. I'm praying that these do not really exist. But most with common sense believe they most likely are. Let's see. BIDEN. Mr. Joe owned the island next to Jeffrey EpiPen. I did not know that. I will have to look that up. Let's see here. D-Live Shock. What is going on? Thank you guys for being over there. Enchanted Realm, for Pete's sakes. Says, you're right, Rip Curl. I'll have to check what Rip Curl says. He's right a lot. Frankly Speaking says, stolen Germany technology. Oh, so frankly speaking, you are saying that this is actually stolen from German military ideas? That's, I think that's what you're saying. Babylon is fallen, says Carolyn. Joshua Hathaway, his brother did. Oh, okay, saying Joe's brother owned it. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, Spawn23 says, you should be asking why the sudden uptick in the space race and why the rush to leave Earth by 2030. Somebody tell Spawn23 if I've answered that or asked that question. That is one of my biggest things here on the show. You must be new. I don't recognize your name, but I have been saying it since Space Force and before. If you go back through my videos, why do they have hammer? Why do they have lasers? Why are they trying to get to the moon? Why are they trying to get to the far side of the moon? Why are they doing Bennu? Why are they doing Osiris Rex? Why is every country coming up with these laser systems? I'm telling you, that is one of my big things, is that I believe why Asgardia? Why did they form a government in space? And a lot of elites are actually putting onto it. And then for the public, you can, sign up on their website and get a little certificate that you're a citizen of space or whatever. So people think, oh, it's just a joke. But why are the certain elites that are involved, and why are they putting a ton of money into the upper echelons of that, just fake name a star, kind of certificate community? When really they are actually getting government clearance to create a sovereign nation in space. It's not because we're just instantly going to have a society on Mars. It's because something is coming our way. That's my opinion. Again, that's not fact. That's my opinion. Either way. But yeah, Spawn23, I've talked about it a lot. People get on my case because I've talked about it a lot. Speaking of talking about something a lot, I hope you guys are prepared for anything. Again, we have worked with EMP Shield over a year. They are actually now contracted with different companies like DHS, DOD, and now officially on the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. And EMP Shield actually grounds the signal before your devices are fried. And I say that because you can actually get multiple devices for different things. You can get one for your house, you can get one for your car, your generator, even your ham radio. You can get an EMP shield and wire it in. And if you do, you are protected against all three phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3. You have lightning protection. So the price of just one of these is about a fifth of what your deductible would be if your house was fried by lightning. And then, of course, solar flare protection up to $228,000, which they say will happen. It's not a question of will it. It is when it will happen. And then, of course, it's 100% American-made, veteran-owned business. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. If you do that, you support our show. But I have told people for a long time, we've shown you the NERC results, how they do not, they report it to Department of Energy, but then they don't report all the things that happen to our grid to the public. They even put that in their official release. We've shown you the DHS report telling every single American to have 6 months to a year of food because of the seriousness of the threat to our grid. But people still have not listened. Most of you guys have. We've shown you all of that. I hope that you guys get this. Even if you don't go through us, go around us, go through a different creator that has it. If you want to support somebody else and get it, make sure to do so. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/EMP. All right, so we're going to get into the next story after I get into chat. Gidget30, thanks for the hard work, and you help so many of us. Well, I hope that most of you know. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do believe that I do have my kind of finger on what you guys are saying and what is going on. And I take what I say and I I make sure that we don't just have one person say, hey, this is something that's going on, and just do it and just say, oh, that's true. I make sure to find it out from multiple people, and not because 6 people said, oh, I saw this YouTube video that said that this was true, so it's got to be. No. I'm talking about real information coming from multiple sources. That's when we pass on something that doesn't have a background source on it. And everything that is out there, and if you don't believe this, then I guess you'll just need more time, and you're going to have to see more of the stuff come true as it happens. But we are not done yet. This is the beginning. People say, oh, you do this for this or views or whatever. We get the same views no matter what. We have a score, I believe, that sets us. Basically, we have the same thing. We're like at a cap. We get the same amount of people live. We get the same views, anywhere from 45 to 60,000 views a day. It doesn't go crazy. It doesn't go crazy up or anything else because it's like capped. So it doesn't matter if we say this or that. We don't need to. Even if we do a boring show, it does the same. So I hope people listen, and I hope people prepare for anything, just like the military does, just like the government does. Look at what is happening. Michael Dudas says civil conflict is coming. I hope not. But if it does, will all of you be prepared? I hope so. Gadget Girl 3, thank you for being here. And The Truth Is Out There, thank you for gifting out subs to I Love Beagles, to Love and SC, to Lindsay. Thank you guys all for being here. And then thank you, Truth Is Out There, for gifting out at least 5 subs. So thank you. And then Great Writer, thank you for following. As always, if you follow during the show, you will get a shout out. Renegade PD, I just got Greenland. I just had my sister bring my packages. I watched it again. Sadly, I actually finally found, after about 3 weeks, I found the link to see it. I was hoping that it was going to be higher quality, but I ended up watching your DVD anyways, and then I gave the other one to my sister, so now she can watch it. Greenland, crazy prediction programming there. Really crazy stuff. Edgy Whalen, thank you for gifting subs out as well. And then El Camote, Scooter, thank you. 183907, thank you from Australia, I believe. Thank you so much. Defrustrated, remember, you can actually write something there. God bless our president and us all. The WWG1WGDA, please let the water be true, Lord. Defrustrated, just so you know, everybody is gone now that says that. Amber B. Subaru, thank you and welcome back. I hope your tummy feels better. I'm on quarantine because somebody at my job tested positive. The test hurt my nose. The test was done at my job. Oh, that's scary, Amber. My personal friend had the 3rd case ever. It was his coworker, and they said he passed. Funny enough that he was a very unhealthy guy. Let's see, Liz Lamarche, great to see you all. Shout out to DM Walkin' OTR. Keep on trucking all. Be prepared, not scared. Liz, I hope you and everybody else knows that is exactly what we've said for a long time. Apophis, size of 5 football fields, April 13, 2029. Why they have to be gone by 2030. Huh. Well, you would think that they would have to be gone by 2029. So there's some stuff coming out about Apophis, and a lot of people are going to be talking about Apophis again. And why did it speed up? People said it was gravity. Some of the scientists say that that's not what they believe. Dex, did you hear about that as far as Apophis speeding up? Did you end up reading the article? I think I tagged you in that one. Apophis is apparently speeding up, or did speed up, and they say I think they said it was a slingshot effect, like it went around the gravity and swung around, but that's not good.
Yeah, and we got that in. I think we have that one in the show tonight.
Oh, okay, good. All right, I'm glad we put it in there. So with Apophis, you're going to see a lot more stuff coming out on this because I think that obviously a lot of people have talked about it, but not a lot of people know what they're really saying about it. It says, flash of luck, astronomers find cosmic radio burst source. Remember, we've covered this in the past as far as this FRB, or a fast radio burst. It says, a flash of luck helped astronomers solve a cosmic mystery. What causes powerful but fleeting radio bursts that zip and zigzag through the universe? Scientists have known about these energetic pulses called fast radio bursts for about 13 years and have seen them coming from outside of our galaxy. These are interstellar pulses. It says, which make them harder to trace them back to what's causing them. Making it even harder is what they happen to be, fast, in just a couple milliseconds. It says, then this April, a rare but considerably weaker burst coming from inside our own Milky Way galaxy was spotted by two dissimilar telescopes. A California doctoral student's set of handmade antennas, which included actual cake pans. The other, a $20 million Canadian observatory. That's right, one of them actually was made with cake pans. Cake pans. And the other $20 million Canadian observatory. They tracked that fast radio burst to a weird type of star called a magnetar. That's 32,000 light years from Earth, according to 4 studies in Wednesday's journal Nature. It says it was not only the first fast radio burst traced to a source, but the first emanating from our galaxy. Astronomers say that there could be other sources for these bursts, but they're now sure about one guilty party, magnetars. Magnetars are incredibly dense neutron stars with 1.5 times the mass of our sun squeezed into the space of a size of Manhattan. They have enormous magnetic fields that buzz and crackle with energy. It says, and sometimes flares of X-rays and fast radio bursts from them, according to McGill University astrophysicist Ziggy Plunis. Oh, everybody trusts a Ziggy. Okay, how did they know all of this so quickly? How did they put this together and say this is the explanation? And is this just now accepted as fact? Because otherwise, we've never detected a fast radio burst inside this galaxy. We had Oumuamua come in, which was Scout. Then we had, out of history, within a year, we had another one. We had the other one come in, Interstellar Visitor. And then, of course, we had now a fast radio burst from inside our galaxy. Something is up. Do you think that this is something coming from outside the galaxy and moving closer to us, and they're just telling us it's a magnetar? What do you guys think? I think it's weird. That's for sure. Yeah, it's very weird. Jem, beep, beep. Mel, everyone, thank you so much. Jem, hope you're doing well over there. Let me know what is going on in Europe as well. We really need to have our heads up. I know that there's a filter of everything news coming down. I know that you guys get a lot of similar stuff, though. You have media companies that are connected at the same arms. Grace for you, too. Good to be with you tonight, Foogle fam. That's awesome. And Kravinoff, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Foogle fam. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout-out. And then, hey, guys, Sailing Spoon reporting in. God bless. Salute. And then we've got Unicorn Forest, Bonus Fungus. Every time I see that name. Baldy Locks Awake. Say hi to Jen as well. I hope Jen is here as well. High Velocity, Trek Prepper 53. We've got Mama of 6, Claire Bear, a.k.a. CFS 69. Says, glad to see you back and feeling better. Love the fam. Badger Babe. Elites think that they can run from the rapture. LOL. No, but they might be able to hide a couple more minutes. Copenhagen, thank you for following. Thanks, Adam and Dex, for sharing the hard truths. Grace for you, too. Well, I'm actually kind of sad that we can't share more of the hard truths right now, but we are keeping our platform as long as possible so we can make a difference. I think our main point, though, is if we don't get you down every single rabbit hole, that we can at least prepare you for them. Terry Blackwell, thank you for following. Bonus Fungus. April Osborne, much love, Adam. Nice to see you again as well. I know that you are doing awesome. I'm so glad for your journey through cancer, and now you have found communities that you absolutely love, and now you are a part of something and have purpose. That's why I absolutely love my Foogle fam. I love the D-Live fam. I love everybody over there. Stone Master Kevin, thank you so much from Canada. It says lots of love from Canada. It's crazy stuff. Tina, thank you. Again, thank you for that. El Camote, thank you. Astronomers measure a change in orbit for infamous asteroid Apophis. Is this a coincidence? Now, I've told you guys about what they talk about with asteroid defense. I've shown you the weird connections as far as Elon Musk, right? So now they say that the Starlink system will be used to detect incoming objects. They made it sound like they're there to detect hypersonic missiles specifically. But here's the thing. So what they would do for asteroid defense, or what some of the main ideas are, they range from actually putting a sun sail and hooking it on. So as the sun shines on it, over time, it actually puts, a pressure back on it. And then it will slow it down or speed it up. So they've talked about the sun sail. They've also talked about impacting it as far as a kinetic blast. So let's see here. So the asteroid is coming along, and they take a nuke-tipped missile and they hit it, and it blasts it enough not to, of course, blow it up, but just to slow it down a little bit or to speed it up. The thing is an asteroid hitting, if you believe, of course, that we are on a ball, right? I know that there's some that have the opposite thoughts. You guys are welcome here as well. That it would be an intersection like two cars. Earth is say a tiny Pinto, and the asteroid is a big SUV. They want this SUV to go through the intersection before us, or they want the Pinto to go through the intersection first. So what they have to do is they either have to speed up the SUV, they've got to speed up that big vehicle, or slow it down just enough. It could be minuscule for it to go through, or minuscule to keep it there, but they don't want them to line up at the same time. The people that we've talked to, several people that have sent me messages, says that Apophis is the real deal. They keep going back to Apophis, and they keep talking about it, and it has gotten worldwide interest. Everyone has talked about Apophis. Apophis has been a worldwide phenomenon for a couple years now, because there was at a point where they were publicly questioning if this was eventually going to hit us. Even if it was in 2030 or 2050, if this thing hits, it could be the end of days. They've even had their drills and kind of their practices. There's been a couple government websites with simulations involving this kind of situation. It says orbit of asteroid Apophis, pink, in contrast to the orbit of Earth, blue. And we'll show you the picture here. The yellow dot represents the sun. Apophis takes 323.6 days to orbit the sun. Earth takes 365. It says astronomers at the University of Hawaii issued a statement on October 26, 2020, revealing a critical new finding linked to the large near-Earth asteroid. That is, of course, by the way, some have pointed out that has that in it, only upside down. It says Apophis, which is expected to pass close to Earth in 2029, 2036, and again in 2068. What I have heard is that 29 it will come close, but 2036 is the big heyday. That is at least what I've heard from several people that we talk to. I don't know if it's true, but I do believe that they know something is coming. I think that Sunspot had some very weird stuff happen there. I feel like them shutting down all those things before any of this happened, before Jeffrey and EpiPen and all this other stuff, there was a really weird set of events that happened with all of the observatories. Shutting down, the explanation for it just didn't make sense. At least not to me. If you guys have a different opinion, you feel free to put that in there. It says, collaborators announced that they have now detected a Yarkovsky acceleration on asteroid Apophis. Now, the Yarkovsky acceleration is basically what they call, it says, arising from a minuscule push imparted by sunlight. This force is particularly important for asteroid Apophis, the scientists in Hawaii said, because it relates to the possibility of an Earth impact in 2068. Now, they say the possibility for an impact in 2068, but is that really how far it is out? Do you think that they are saying that that is the one? Or do you think, oh, no, it's proven because they've put out the numbers and it's right there and anybody can do the math? What if they lied? That's all I'm asking. And could they do that? Could they lie? Yeah. They could put the official numbers as something else. Tholen and colleagues used the 323-inch, 8.2-meter Subaru telescope at Mauna Kea, Hawaii, to make new observations. Their work suggests that the huge space rock, whose estimated diameter is between 1,115 to 1,214 feet, or 340 to 370 meters, this is bigger than this is almost 4 football fields big, is drifting more than 500 feet per year from its expected position in its orbit. The team will present their research later this week at a virtual conference held under the auspice of the Lunar and Planetary Institute in Houston, referring to an encounter in 2029. Referring to the encounter in 2029, the conference is called Apophis T9 Years. Okay, Dex, what do you think? What do you think? Does this creep? It creeps me out that they called the conference T9 years, like T minus 9 years. I swear to God, is that not? That's a minus sign, but you would just say T9 years, T minus 9 years. And when do you say T minus? What do you think, Dex?
That's kind of creepy. Is that the exact number of years?
2029.
Yeah.
And it's called Apophis T minus 9 years.
Yeah, well, I think they're, obviously signaling to that date.
What is T minus, by the way? Where does that saying come from? Like T minus 4, 5, or a countdown, right? Where does that come from? NASA?
Yes. Well, it's used in counting down the liftoff or launch of a rocket.
Is it short for time minus 10, 9, 8, 7? Isn't that how you would say that?
Yeah, it's T minus, and it's the amount of time left. T minus 10 minutes, T minus 5 seconds, and you start counting them down. Yeah.
Does that kind of click in anybody's head? Is that weird? Or and I know there's people that are, some people just have to be the critic. So some people literally do have it triggers them. They just have to say like, oh, most people that get worried a lot that are actually scared by it, they go, oh, you're always talking about the end of the world. What's this? What is that? T minus 9 years. NASA, Greek for to deceive. I don't think I knew that. Death is only the beginning. See, again, if you're not afraid of death, then this stuff doesn't become stressful. I'm more stressed about, my kids and their life and just making sure their life is good. The Adam and Eve story, look it up. Paul Sell, we've shown that on our show. We've actually had multiple people talk about that. Okay, Adam, LOL. That one is kind of suspect. Haha. Evil Fathwell. Thank you. Come on. Just saying. 2029 and 2050 key important years, says Bubba 1. Jammer 1. Patricia minus. T equals takeoff. Takeoff 9 years. Okay.
The official invention was NASA, and it's T stands for time, and minus is the amount of time you're subtracting to the point in which an event happens.
Okay, so just to remind you, the event is called Apophis, T minus 9 years. And of course, that could be just a dash. But do you think they didn't do that on purpose? Okay, moving on. Obviously, that's crazy. Somebody says I'm scared of slow death. Julie Brush. I agree with you. I was just talking about this with my wife and saying, she said she would rather not know if we were going to get hit with an asteroid. Well, in fact, it was because Renegade Petey sent this DVD of a movie, and we were watching it, and I said, man, what if this is really going to happen, and this is how it was going to go down? And they said, you had 48 hours to live. She goes, I wouldn't want to know. Dex, I don't think you would want to. Would you rather just have it hit and then a couple seconds of sheer terror as you see like something come towards you? I mean, the shock wave alone from a big one, if you were close, you wouldn't even know. It would just be done. You'd be seeing the pearly gates before you even knew what was going on.
Yeah, only warn me if I can do something about it. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, if you can take a private plane and have everything go wrong on the way to Greenland, yeah, got it.
Or take a space shuttle up and drop a nuke on it like Bruce Willis, right?
Yep. We need to make a Bruce Willis song. All right. Adelwolf, thank you for hosting. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for anyone who came over with that. Or thank you for coming over. I appreciate that. And we'll make sure to return the favor. J9 Texas Sunshine, thank you so much. June M. Ashland, Michigan Girl, thank you for following. Good luck in your state. There's lots of crazy stuff. Reno AP, good luck in your state. Lots of crazy stuff going on. Truly 452, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for all joining the Foogle fam over on DLive. And then we've got Lemon Essence and Florence 323. Thank you for being here as well. Lots of new followers over on DLive. Thank you guys. I don't know if we're on the main page or something, but thank you guys for all coming in. Kishara Maui Racing Realtor High Velocity Texas Rob 49. A round for everyone on me. Awesome. Thank you, Texas Rob. Thank you for being a big part of the Foogle fam. Thank you for supporting us, and thank you for all your kind words. Let's see here. Bizarre molten planet discovered with lava ocean, supersonic winds. Says scientists say they have possibly identified a lava world so dramatic that it might boast a thin regional atmosphere of vaporized rock where it's closest to its star. That exoplanet is called K2-141b, and it was originally discovered in 2017. The world is about half again as big as Earth, but orbits so close to its star, which is one class smaller than our own, that it completes several loops each day with the same surface permanently facing the star. Now scientists predict that those factors mean that 2/3 of the surface of K141 is permanently sunlit, so much so that not only part of the world is covered in a lava ocean, but some of the rock may even evaporate away into the atmosphere. It says all rocky planets, including Earth, started off as a molten world, but then rapidly cooled and solidified. At least that's what they say. It says Nicholas Cohen, a planetary scientist at McGill University in Canada and a co-author on the new paper, said in a statement, lava planets give us a rare glimpse at this stage of planetary evolution. It says the scientists behind the new researchers wanted to understand what sort of atmosphere such a hot world would have and how terrestrial tools would see it. K2-141b was a tempting target because it's been studied by both the K2 mission of NASA's Kepler Space Telescope and by the agency's Spitzer Space Telescope. It says, and the atmosphere is particularly intriguing because scientists believe that NASA's upcoming James Webb Space Telescope, due to the launch late next year, will be able to analyze the components of distant planetary atmospheres. I still don't understand that, and I know that I am not a science whiz. How they do so many things from afar. I understand that there's ways to bounce things back and do all of these kind of things, and how they look at the light coming through, all of this kind of stuff. I don't understand it, but you guys can explain it if you know how that works. If you guys want to support us in a different way, make sure to protect yourself. Right now, there are more cyber criminals than ever before in history. They know everybody is at home. They are all, of course, now we're about to be on another lockdown. In my opinion, this is coming. All over the world, they are locking back down. If you're watching me, you are most likely an allied country, and you are most likely going to be locked down no matter who wins this race. Of course, they're unlocking us for now. Watch. My opinion is that we are about to go back into at least a basic lockdown. But again, getting back to the point, there are going to be a lot of people at home on their computers. If you are, or your kids are, this actually, for one payment, you can actually get up to 6 devices covered. So it covers 6 devices. You can get 3-year plans up to like 68% off if you go through our code. So make sure to use the special savings Marfoogle. It helps the channel and it will protect you. It hides your IP from the bad guys. There's no data logging from either companies or even governments. Again, you can also automatic kill switch if something happens. Protect your data while traveling. You can use this with Wi-Fi in Starbucks and be completely safe with your data. Again, make sure to go check it out. marfooglenews.com/VPN. That's again, marfooglenews.com/VPN. All right, and then we've got an ETA to recharge over warm waters, then make a run at Cuba and southern Florida. We're, of course, talking about the tropical storm Eta. Not ETA. I don't know why I read it like that. Eta to recharge over warm waters, and it says AccuWeather forecasters are keeping a close eye on where Eta, which slammed Central America as a Category 4 hurricane, is headed next. It could re-strengthen and reach hurricane force again. We're going to be following it, but it says the weekend blizzard to smack Montana. It says, and residents of the northern Rockies endured an unusually snowy October, which may be a distant memory following the recent warm spell. Conditions will deteriorate, and the snow will be measured in the feet when the storm is over. So we've got snow, we've got all sorts of things happening, and we've got all sorts of stormy weather. We'll be following it, and we will be covering it. Also, make sure to follow our website for any crazy changes. Then, of course, we've got the world's biggest iceberg on collision course with South Georgia, posing threat to penguins and seals. It says, the world's largest iceberg is on a collision course with the British Atlantic island of South Georgia. Again, in fact, I saw somebody tweeting about this, and they said, how is an iceberg going to hit Georgia? It's in the middle of the United States. And I was like, oh my gosh. Dex, did you see my response to that one? That was pretty funny.
No, I did not see it. I'll have to go look for that. But yeah, that's pretty funny.
Anyways, people just, I get it. I've done it before. I've typed and then go, oh, what am I saying?
Yeah, Georgia got its name from settlers from England, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So this is not Georgia here. This is South Georgia, of course, the Atlantic island, and it's threatening the territory's penguins and seals. So the animals are actually apparently at risk here. And it says the iceberg, known as A68A, is about the quarter of a size of Wales and is more than 656 feet thick. To put that into comparison, I guess in Seattle, that would be just a tad taller than the Space Needle. If you were, I guess that would be about the same height as the, that's about half the Sears Tower, I believe. So this is a huge, super thick iceberg. It says it is expected to run aground near the shores of British overseas territory. Such an event could be disastrous for the local penguin and seal populations, as there is a risk their established foraging routes could be blocked, hampering them from feeding their young. Creatures living on the seafloor could also be crushed where the iceberg landed, the BBC reported, further disturbing the ecosystem in the area. So if it comes up and all of the coral, everything else that's there, it could crush all of it like snails under a shoe.
Now, didn't we talk about an event, a plan in the Middle East to actually bring an iceberg in and let the
for water?
Let it cool the water, create an atmosphere or a regional atmosphere that would cause the desert to have more grass and things like that and green space?
We did, and that's a serious thing.
Yeah, this would be an ideal time, right, for them to like go pick this one up and maybe take it over to the right because it's coming up from the south, right?
That is hilarious. If you're new to the channel, we've covered lots of weird stories, but again, the Middle East actually talked about grabbing an iceberg and bring it in. They also talk about moving an iceberg places and then desalinating or basically taking that iceberg and using it for water, and somehow it could, if the special machine could basically recycle and make it stay the same size while using it to actually make drinking water from. Weird stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. The craziest country though, Saudi Arabia and all of the stuff that they are doing. I'm trying to think, where are they going to have the robots and all of that? Is that SA? Is that Saudi Arabia?
But it's either there or it's UAE.
No.
Right?
What am I? It starts with a D. What? I don't know why.
Oh, Dubai?
Dubai, yes.
Yeah, and UAE, yeah.
Yeah, so Dubai they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. They already have flying taxis, I'm sure if available for the upper echelons or whatever, but they've got robots walking around. They're trying to turn everything into like this future world, and they're trying to do everything the best and the biggest. They've got so much oil money, they don't even know what to do with. Imagine having so much money. Like the one guy who died that was I want to say it was one of the royal family members or somebody that was in the oil family. Their house, they had pallets just of gold. They had gold everything. You're talking about a place that has vending machines, just like you would get a Coke out of a vending machine. They have a vending machine of gold. You think I'm joking? That's a real freaking thing. And I was thinking, these people have so much money that the common visitor, the people that come through, they just want to buy $10,000 worth of gold. I'm not kidding you. You can buy gold everything. You can buy gold. Look at this, vending machines. This doesn't even sound as crazy because they've got vending machines for Bitcoin and things like this. Oh wow, look at that. They're actually doing it in Florida. That one is actually one of the more believable ones. Buying gold in a vending machine in Abu Dhabi at Emirates. Not only that, but you've got whole stores that cater to that. So they'll have gold cell phones. You can get a Samsung Note 10 gold, like solid gold, with chips and everything, made custom for the elites. This is what when you get too much money, this is what they end up going and spending their money on. It's like you can't even find a way to spend all your money, so you do custom crazy crap like Dubai. It's unbelievable. All of that wasted money goes to nothing. For something that's probably going to die in 6 months. Denmark finds strain that might hamper vaccine effort. It says her government has passed on the information to the World Organization and now plans to cull Denmark's entire mink population. According to Copenhagen Fur, an auction house owned by Denmark's mink breeders, some 16 million animals are raised each year. As the new CV has spread from person to person, it has changed thousands of times. By the way, Dex, you notice how they're saying it keeps changing and evolving? Does it make you think of the Songbird? Have you seen the Songbird trailer yet?
No, I have not. I've heard about it, though.
Oh, my gosh. You're kidding me. That's like a job requirement now. Look at this. It says, as the new CV has spread from person to person, it has changed thousands of times. A vast majority of these changes are incremental. Without what's known as functionally significant mutation, though, there's been previous debate over research showing that it may have evolved to become more contagious. It says the mutation of the virus that's now been identified in Denmark, quote, can have serious negative consequences for the global handling of the pandemic, Fredrickson said. And it said there are 12 known cases in which humans have contracted the new form of the virus from mink, she said. Denmark has already culled thousands of mink in recent months due to the outbreaks of this. According to Wednesday's briefing, cases of CV-19 were found in 217 out of 11,139. 4574-2. Sold to the gentleman in the back. I just can't talk today. So, if you haven't seen the preview for Songbird, go watch it, because it's really creepy how that is almost... I mean, look at that. In that preview, there's one point where the newscaster says, it's something like, we have a shockingly unfortunate series of things to report today, as they have found that CV-23 has now evolved to affect the brain matter. What if the governments of the world, what if we have this wrong? What if it's not some sort of HOAX or anything like that? Like a lot of us said in the beginning, what if they knew that this was something that they couldn't stop and that was going to evolve into something 10 times worse? In the beginning, we were all thinking, why are they doing this for this? It didn't make sense. And the only way it would make sense is either they're doing this for these reasons, the last couple of days, or they know something way more. Either way, there was some sort of lying going on, that we're not being told everything, that there's some omissions. Why are they setting this up? Are they setting this up? And now it looks like it's long term, right? Although the overall, the overall death count in the entire country has not actually, it's on par with last year. Doesn't that make anybody kind of scratch their head? The entire, all causes. So you just take every single cause. So what that makes people think is like, well, did we just have a complete improvement in car safety or something? Did the 2020 safety records for Mercedes-Benz and every single other car brand get just dramatically better? So those aren't, those just disappeared and now they've been replaced with this? But what if this is going to get 10 times worse and they know it? That is also a thought that's always been in the back of my head. Has it been in the back of yours? I'm going to go over to the chat and see what you guys think. Do you think that CV is going to get worse and evolve into something else? And this is assuming that if you think CV is, CV. What do you guys think? David Bagley says, I'm still exhausted from the event yesterday. Yes. Well, 2 days ago. Yeah. I think we all are. I think all of us have been pacing and stressed. Yes, it has multiple strains, says Dillard. Yeah, and remember when it was 1 strain, 2 strain, then it was 7 strains, and it was 21 strains? But there was something that wasn't being told to us. There was something that was not told to us. What if it was designed? What if they could see that it was designed to mutate? Let's see here. Lion's Heart says, I hope we are wrong. I have felt the same way. Somebody says completely. Wendy Sameng, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, says I spent too much time trying to figure out your name. Vanessa Doe, maybe CV has evolved from SARS. Not going to happen, says Diane Likely. I like it. South Pole, yes, but by design. But something else is coming, Desert Granny. I'm assuming you said no, but something else is coming. Here we go again, says Elbrin. I mean, there's no doubt something is about to happen as far as lockdowns. Billy P says, of course it is. They're going full psycho on this. Kevin Dellinger, don't you wish you invested in the mask industry right before this hit? Stumpy, no, I appreciate your opinion there. But that it has to be that. It has to be that, or it has to be that. Do you agree? It has to be one of them. It has to be it's this or... And Lionsheart says it's creepy to think it's all planned. I agree with some of you guys, but I agree with both thoughts. I think that it's got to be something. Yeah, no, I get you. Global reset under guise. Yeah, Blue Master dangerous. Oh, okay. Shouldn't have said that. Kim Kardashian, or no, Kourtney Kardashian said that statement, and I think almost got kicked off of what do you call it? Instagram, because she didn't fix it. Crazy stuff. Huh, look at that. Backwards engineering. Isn't it odd that they called it CV23, same as CV19, the year before voting season? That's a thought. Somebody else told, I can't even say that part. Never mind. I'll tell you guys that in a minute. All right. So, madman digs canal for decades to bring water to dry Indian village, enduring jeers that turned into cheers. Visionaries are often accused of being a little mad, crazy even by their wives, such as the case of Luwangi, a resident of India's drought-blighted Gaya district in the eastern state of Bihar. It says Luwangi Bayaya, I think I'm saying that totally wrong, had become increasingly distraught as more and more farmers, including 4 of his own sons, left Kolitha for greener pastures. Taking a leaf from Don Quixote, Bijon was determined not only to dream an impossible dream, but to make a dream come true by single-handedly bringing water to his village in hopes of transforming the barren land into acreable acreage. It says, inspired by the earlier exploits of, quote, mountain men, Dash Hathan, with just a hammer and a chisel, spent 22 years carving a road through the mountain near the village Galur from 1960 to 1982. Bihoya set out to dig an irrigation canal by hand to the closest water source in Bagetha Hills. It says, quote, I had heard about him and I thought, if he can do it, why can't I? They all thought I was mad. In August 2001, he decided to dig a canal from a natural water source in Bagatha Sawasi village in forest to the village. Village leader Vishnu Bhakta of the Tribune of India said, it says, the villagers took their cattle generally to the source for watering, which also provided sustenance for the animals living in the forest area. Luwangi knew that the water source was enough to irrigate the agricultural land for the villagers. However, it was a great challenge to bring water into the village. It says, despite the teasing from his family and fellow villagers, the now 70-year-old Bihoya toiled every day to make the 4-foot wide by 3-foot deep canal a reality. It took him nearly 30 years to accomplish his goals, but now everyone is benefiting from the fruits of his decades-long labors. Bihoya, whose reputation as a neighborhood eccentric has since been transformed into a local hero. He was recently rewarded for his efforts with a brand new Mahindra tractor, which will be used to expand the canal. So they're like, we're going to give you a brand new tractor so you can get back to work. It says, of course, when Quixote creator Miguel de Cervantes wrote, when life itself seems lunatic, who knows where the madness lies? Perhaps be too practical may be madness. To surrender dreams, this may be madness. Maddest of all is to see life as it is and not as it should be. He wasn't referring to Bihuya, but he just as well might have been. So one thing to pull from this is that you may look crazy the entire time, And you may get jeered, and you might get people saying you're nuts and saying you're full of crap. But when it really does come down to it, you stuck by it. You might go from crazy to a hero. Sometimes I feel like I was put on this earth to prepare people, and people will think I'm crazy up until then, and then when it does, hopefully they'll thank me, but I don't care if they do. It's what we were meant to do. Dex is the same way. We feel like we're a part of something bigger. You guys are part of something bigger. So just keep going. If people say you're crazy, within reason, keep going. Don't give up for anybody. If you guys don't want to be tracked and traced, I'd highly recommend an eDeck bag. Make sure to go to marfooglenews.com/eDeck. Again, these can actually protect all RF signals from going in or out. Once your phone or your device is in there, it goes off grid. There is no tracking. There is no tracing. Very handy thing to have nowadays. Savings code Marfoogle to get an extra discount. All right, guys. Dex. It looks like we are going to be going over to the calls section again for obvious reasons during this current event. We're going to be switching over. We're going to be switching over to DLive for the second half of the show. I hope you guys all join me. It's very easy to join. It's free. If you're new here, go through and go over to there. You can watch the whole show. For DLive, nothing's going to change. Dex, are you ready?
Yes, Adam. And for everyone that wants to join us, if you don't know, it's really easy. Just type in marfooglenews.com/DLive.
Boom.
It'll take you right there.
Look at this. Boom. marfooglenews.com/DLive. Or you can go right to the website and you can click on this, and right on here it will go follow on DLive. There's reasons behind this, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But for the people over on YouTube, thank you guys so much. JV, it's going to get worse, and they're going to release the real thing. They just need the right president. JV, that's a scary thought, isn't it? And thank you. I hope I don't believe I missed anybody there. Open House, Texas, One Drummer Guy, Susan Donahue, Keith and Queen Brad, Backwoods Ingenuity, Liz LaMarche, Amber B. Subarex WRX, D. Frustrated, Scooter 18, El Camote, Tina, and Stone Master Kevin. JV, thank you. Thank you guys. Much love. We will see you over on DLive. For DLivers, you don't have to go anywhere. You just sit there and be happy. Be DLiving. DLive it up. DLive it up. Now it's time for a short outro. Your music is a derivative of form. Thank you all for coming tonight. By the way, if you did not know to follow over on Twitter, we are going to be doing a contest very soon. So make sure to get over there right now at Marfoogle. We're going to be giving away some photos. We're also possibly going to be giving away some really cool prizes. Stay tuned over on at Twitter. That, of course, is, that's a simple no-brainer. This one was a little too late. We should have had this on Halloween.
Frustrated, MLB Super Rule, gotta go back.
Remember, you can migrate over to DLive now.
Gotta roll, gotta do it all day. Gotta go say, oh, aye.
Oh yeah, gotta be like, oh yeah, you gonna do it just like, oh yeah, gonna bring back the beat just like, oh yeah, do it like, oh no.
There over and on the whole brow. Gonna bring it down like a snowboard brow. Hey, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da.
Thank you all for tuning in. Now for the callers.